Hey, baseball fan, my name is Dave from the Frontier League Journal, and today we are going to Joliet. We are with Brian Parreira. How are you, Brian?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm fine, thank you. We do not speak enough about the Slammers. It seems like the roster was pretty much done early on with some additions. Am I right here?
Yeah, we honestly we had a pretty set roster before I think they headed over to Lake Erie for the draft. I know they looked for a couple guys. They picked up Tyler Blom and Lane Barrymore from the draft there, and they've been with us along with a couple pitchers, I believe. And I think today or tomorrow they're finalizing the team. They didn't really bring in too many guys, which is nice for us to get to know each other as a team and not have to worry about losing 10 guys after spring training.
Yeah, I was talking to Patrick Scalabrini from Équipe Québec, and he was saying the same thing. I don't want to have those conversations, and I understand. I mean, it's your life, it's your dream. So you bring on 35 players, and then you have to cut 11. I mean, that doesn't. Well, it makes sense in a way, but you have to respect the players. What do you think?
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's two sides to it. I mean, you got guys that come in and they're working their butt off to try and make the team, and it really does stink for those guys that aren't able to make it. And but it's a business, you know. That's the part of baseball, and those are some crappy conversations to have, but they do exist.
Okay. I saw a few. The problem with me covering the league is I see a lot of stats. So the stats do not lie, but they don't tell the whole story. And you're pretty much the definition of this for me, because when I saw you in some videos and when I talked to some people about you, you seem to be the life of the team. Would that be the right way to say it?
Uh, I I'd like to think so. I've been here since 2018.
Yeah,
So now on this team, I'm kind of the senior slammer. Uh,
at
2018,
25.
yeah, I got in here after I was done at South Carolina Aiken in 2018, and that was on the last day of transactions, and I actually got to win a championship with them, so that was a lot of fun and got a ring for that. And then 2019 came back and I ended up getting hurt, so I was out for the year, and then now COVID, and now I'm back again, so I'm excited. I've gotten to know a lot of people around the stadium, the city, so I try to wear that well. But I'm excited to get going here in 2021.
Was that a factor in you signing back with the Slammers? I mean, you knowing the team, you being a big part of it, so not having to change teams, not for the right reason in a way. So were you dead set on going back to Joliet?
You know, I had hopes that something would pop up with affiliate baseball
Sure.
in the off season, and I did have Joliet kind of not in my pocket because nothing's guaranteed, but I was informed that they would be wanting to have me back. So that was definitely comfortable this offseason. I didn't have to worry about necessarily trying to go to any tryouts or anything like I did when I originally made the Joliet team, having to go to that open tryout in Indianapolis.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
no, go ahead.
Okay, because I talked to, were you, I think you were not there when the team in 2018 was doing very, very bad at the beginning of the season. And then you ended up winning the championship. I had an interview with Kevin Santiago, the hitting coach who was in Joliet in 2018. Talk to me about him. He seems to be exactly like you. I mean, smiling, the life of the party in a way.
Yeah, he's a great guy. I love working with him. In 2018, being the youngest guy on the team, I just kind of kept my mouth shut and listened to what everybody had to say. And I learned a lot from the older guys, and especially Kev. And then ended up playing against him once he moved over to Windy City. But we stayed in touch, and I just saw him the other day in a spring training game, and in 2020 he coached one of the teams in the the Champions Cup
Yeah.
for Joliet, one of the other teams. So I got to work with him a lot since 2018. So it's been good working with him. He's very knowledgeable, great guy, good guy to have in the dugout and in the clubhouse. But like I said, I really enjoy working with him.
He's not that great a guy. No, I'm just joking. I love him. By the way, you mentioned that you were in the Champions Cup last season. You've been around players for a few weeks, a few days that have not been playing for a long, long time, I think. And you playing last season, do you see the difference? I mean, do you see yourself as having an advantage because you play? Do you see the difference?
To be honest, in our team, we have a lot of players from the Champions Cup.
Oh, okay.
They picked up a lot of guys that played in that cup and kind of created a new team in Joliet. I know you spoke with Austin Shay the other day. He was in the Champions Cup, and a lot of our rosters from that Champions Cup. So as a team, I'd say we're all pretty ready to go, and hadn't taken too much time off from baseball. So I'm excited about that. The fact that our team hasn't been sitting around for over a year, and we're ready to go.
Talking about Shay, in the interview, I mean, the guy is shy. I mean, he's very shy. He's a great guy, but he's very shy. Compare him in an interview and on the mound. Is he like a bulldog for some reason? I haven't seen him pitch.
He has that that. I mean, he is very shy. I noticed that when I first met him, and I remember going over to one of the other guys and asking about him because I never spoke to him last year, and he said, "Yeah, he's just a little shy. You just got to get to know him a little bit." And so I've gotten to know him a little bit. He's a very nice guy, and on the mound, he's just very, very effective. I know he worked a lot this off season with his control, because I listened to that interview that you guys did, and I've spoke with him a good amount, catching his bullpens and in the game, and he looks very good. He's got a lot of movement on his ball, and he pounds the zone, and I guess just when he gets on the mound, he gets locked in, and he kind of, I mean, all pitchers kind of stay to themselves whenever they're pitching. So I guess that works out in his favor. But like I said, really great guy, and he's a hard worker. So I'm glad to have him on the staff.
I don't know if you remember in the interview, him not having a throwing partner during the off season, so he was throwing to a field post, a football field post. So the other day, I just texted him, "So have you found a field post around the stadium just to throw?" "No, I have a throwing partner right now." "Oh, you do? Oh, wow."
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I gave him a hard time before we started up at the stadium. They have a dome that we have access to.
Okay.
For either rain days or off days that we need to go in and get some work. And there were probably about 10 of us there, and there's Shay throwing into a net instead of throwing with somebody else, and just getting he had one little spot on that net that he wanted to throw to, and it was a little difficult because some guys were showing up at different times. It wasn't necessarily a set time, so he may have gotten started a little earlier than others. But now that we're at the stadium, he's got a whole pitching staff and a throwing partner to work with. And but I did hear that story about him throwing at the goalpost, which I thought was interesting.
And that makes sense with what you're saying right now. You play first base and you're a catcher, 6'4", 225 pounds. I mean, that's what's on your page. Okay, 275?
240.
How much?
240 now. Yeah, I put on a little bit of weight this off season, but good weight.
Oh wow.
Yeah, the 225. I think that might have been they pulled from college. Mm-hmm. Since college, I put on a little bit of weight, but like I said, I've been at some good facilities in the off seasons to put on some good weight and strength. Okay. So now I'm about 240, but still moving very well.
When I texted you to have this interview, we just we had just wow, we had just seen the Joliet Slammers production.
Mhm.
You know, the videos that they do, and by the way,
Yes, sir.
guys, great job. I mean, this is exactly what the Frontier League needs. What they're doing right now, it's perfect. It's short and sweet. I love it. We saw that video, and then I asked you to do the interview, and one thing that my girlfriend said, I mean, how does he get in shape? He's 6'4", 325 pounds. No, sorry. But how do you get in shape during the off season? I mean, what's your regimen? You have to be quite disciplined, don't you?
I've had a few different things each off season. One I spent back at college, finishing up my degree, so I was just working out with the college there. And then another one just back home. But this past off season actually really was probably the best thing I could have done. I spent this off season down at Cressy Sports Performance
Okay.
in Jupiter, Florida.
Oh.
And it's Eric Cressy. He's the strength coach for the New York Yankees, and he owns him, and he's a part owner with a few other guys down there. And it's a full gym. They've got a gym, four covered cages, 3 covered mounds, a full-size baseball field, a full-size turf field, all right on the same campus there. And they run you through almost kind of like a physical and see your weaknesses and your strengths, and they create a program for you month by month. And they have trainers and coaches there that are on the floor with you, following your workout, making sure you're doing the exercise correctly. And I mean, you're working out down there, you're working out next to guys like Justin Verlander's there, Noah Syndergaard is there, Max Scherzer is there, Corey Kluber, who just threw the no-hitter. It's been a pitching facility for the longest, and it's now becoming more and more hitter friendly, and they love the catchers down there because they have so many pitchers that have to throw bullpens. And I got to work with actually Carl Ellison. He's a catcher for the Lake Erie Crushers.
Oh yeah.
And he's from Florida, and every day he and I trained together. We had the same schedule, and went in, caught bullpens in the morning, and then we hit, then we lifted, and it was from 8 a.m. to 3, 4, 5 p.m. every single day. Just spending the whole day there and talking baseball with the guys. And like you were talking about, the workouts are difficult, but they're much needed. And I think this off season was the biggest help to me, learning from all those major leaguers, and just being surrounded by that was a big help.
I think at that stage of your career, I mean, with all due respect, man, it becomes your problem and your responsibility to just be all business. So if you want to make it, it's right now. It's not in 5 years, and it's not 5 years before. It's right now. Do you think you're going to take a step forward this year, not being injured? What's different in your game right now?
I agree with what you're saying. It is now or never. And that's kind of why I went down to Cressy. It was an investment that I was fortunate to have the help from my family to be able to do that. And I think this off season, especially, I improved my catching ability from all aspects: throwing, footwork, receiving, knowledge of calling a game. And a big help was Carl Ellison really helped me in a lot of different ways, and just training together, him and Trace Barrera, who I think he made his debut with the Nationals last year. I think he might be in AAA now, but biggest thing has been my improvement in catching. I think hitting has always been there for me, but I've been hurt, so I haven't been able to really have a full season for that. And I definitely improved in my my approach as well as hitting the ball the other way. I've kind of always been a poolside hitter. You see a big lefty shift on every single time. But since this offseason of really and being back here, driving the ball the other way with power. So and Kevin Santiago was a big help with that, with my hitting. So, just a combination of a little bit of everything. And I'm excited. I'm excited for this year. Like I said, I think it's a big year ahead for our team and as well as me individually.
I'm putting you on the spot right now, but you being a first base player and you being a catcher is very different in the eyes of the scouts. If you hit and you can catch, you want to be a catcher, but your manager may be inclined to play you at first base because on that day, this is what he wants. Do you have those conversations with him where you say, listen, I want to make it as a catcher. What can you do for me?
So we have a new manager this year, so I've been getting to talk to him a good amount. So far he's been awesome, and I love what he's doing with our program. To answer your question, I tell him that I'm here to do whatever he needs me to do. But his goal is to get us signed. Most of the time when people come to watch us play, they know what our primary is. So if, let's say, a scout were to come watch and I'm not catching that day, but they want me as a catcher, chances are they still, if they see me perform and either they come back another day to see me catch after they speak with the manager or whatnot. When I talk with him, it's, hey, I want to be a catcher, but maybe on the off days, instead of getting an off day or instead of DHing, maybe I can play a little bit of first base, which I've already been able to do a little bit in spring training, because I very much enjoy playing first base during my off days of catching.
Okay. Last season, you were obviously in Joliet, and you had the home run derby. The Frontier League has in store the home run derby for the 11th inning, in a way, just to decide the winner. I've seen some videos. I've seen your videos. It seems to be something where it's very exciting for the spectators. Do you want your season to be decided by a home run derby? I'm beating a dead horse here. I don't know.
It's a hard question, because being on the winning side of it, like we were last year,
I know
it's a lot of fun. And it's a great time, but then there's the flip side of, well, we just worked our butt off for the past 9 innings and kept a 1-run ball game the whole time, and now it's over because somebody took BP and hit a home run during and batting Blake. So I think I was talking with actually our manager and Austin Shay about it. I think it's very smart to save pitching in that sense, because at our level, it's all about getting guys signed and to the next level.
You're right.
So if you spend 4 extra innings burning guys, pitching guys longer than they should be, they get hurt, now they can't even play, that is not good. That's not what you want. So I think in that aspect, I do like the home run derby just to save pitching, and it does make it a little bit more interesting for the fans. And I mean, hopefully it won't come down to that, but it will be fun. Nuke's already said something to me about it, kind of jokingly, because we got a short porch over in Wright about the home run derby. So, but hopefully we can prevent it from getting that far.
Okay. Talk to me about the starting pitchers, or even, is there one pitcher right now that you've seen in camp that's either very improved or that's made an impression on either the team or you or the manager?
A pitcher that's improved. I am very excited about Mario Samuel. He's a left-hander. He was on our team in 2019. And last year he struggled a little bit, and I know it was frustrating for him. It was a tough year, and this offseason he came back. I saw him at that dome, and he looked like he had lost some weight. And if he and he worked his butt off. He's been throwing very, very well so far in spring training. Tyler Jandren's another one that in 2019 did well for us, and he then I think ended up having some arm issues maybe, and he rehabbed all 2020, and he's healthy, and so far he's been doing very well in spring training, and looks good. As a whole, our whole staff looks pretty good. I'm still learning a lot of the arms, but those two guys for sure, I can see it's night and day, and the work that they put in this off season to be ready for this year.
Okay. The Joliet Slammers obviously are a reference to a big prison over there. I mean, a big jail. I think they make the tour of the jail just for you to be more, I don't know, just to know what you represent. Is that it?
Yeah, that prison over there, they shot Blues Brothers, the movie, and I don't know if you've heard of the show Prison Break.
Yes.
They shot the first season of Prison Break there, so it's famous for a number of things, and they do now have those tours. They did a lot of renovations, and we actually get to, as a team, go over there for our media day, and they get some pretty sweet shots of us in the prison cells, walking around the yard, and it's pretty creepy in there. Walking around, you can just hear the guys all like whispering to each other, or a little scream here or there. It's pretty spooky walking around in those jail cells. But it's really cool getting to see what that's all about over there.
Yeah, the big strong guys getting in jail, and then, oh my God!
Right, exactly. Exactly.
I have no idea what the season has in store. The baseball god have in store for you in 2021. Brian, I thank you for taking the time, and I truly do appreciate that. And for some reason, because the staff or the roster was pretty much set from the beginning, there was less transactions, and I got to know less of the Joliet Slammers. So just make a big splash this year and make me talk about you. Is that a good deal?
Absolutely. I appreciate it.
There you go. Thank you so much for taking the time, and it's a privilege to talk to you. Have a great season, and let's keep in touch, man. And we'll just do it again, and just, I don't know, see what's happening when you're in affiliated ball.
That sounds great. I'm looking forward to it.
Cheers.
Thank you.